Video is going to be about 6/4 chords. 6/4 chords are not necessarily functional triads in and of themselves. For instance, when we use Roman numerals in analysis, we never use the 1, 2, 5 Roman numerals because we don't consider them functional triads. Instead, we consider them ornamental passing chords. So obviously the first thing I just said, they can be passing 6/4s. You can have neighboring 6/4s. You can have arpeggiating 6/4s. You can have pedal 6/4s. The last category is it's related to the pedal 6/4, the cadential 6/4, which we will talk about in a second. All right, so let's go through each one of these categories. So in C major, a passing 6/4 is going to take you between a 1 and a 1/6, kind of like 5/4-3. And again, we don't write the Roman numeral, we write P, passing 6/4, to show its contrapuntal function. All right, so if I have a voicing like this, my opening, the passing 6/4 will literally be spelled as a 5 triad in 6/4 inversion. Okay, but we again don't write the V for 5 in the Roman numeral analysis. But the same things are going to happen. So do, ti, do is going to be the tenor line here. Sol, sol, sol is going to be the alto. And then one of the features of the passing 6/4 is a voice exchange between the soprano and the bass. So that middle chord there is literally a 5 in second inversion, but we don't say what the Roman numeral is. Instead, we show that it's passing between a 1 and a 1/6. We label its contrapuntal function. Passing 6/4 chords can also exist in between predominant chords. So let's say a 4 to a 4/6 and vice versa. So similar thing would happen. Let's say I put the fa there, and the mi there, and the sol there. Okay, so it's a different arrangement of the voices than the first example, but it's the same progression. So in this case, do, do, do stays the same. And then you can do the voice exchange between the alto and the bass. So the alto is going to go mi, re, do. Sorry, la, sol, fa, and the bass goes fa, sol, la. Voice exchange. And the soprano is going to go fa, mi, fa. You can also have it in the dominant part of the phrase. So let's do it here. So you can expand the 5 chord with a passing 6/4 and moving between a 5 and a 5/6. You can do it this way. And again, a feature of this is going to be the voice exchange between the bass and one of the upper voices. Okay, so that is your passing 6/4. Let's go ahead and look at the neighbor. That's going to be going from do to re, back to do in the bass. In C major, 1, neighbor 6/4, back to a 1. I'll use the same voicing. And again, you have do, ti, do as one of the melodies, sol, 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 and then mi, re, mi. Okay, so literally the voices go, the ones that move, go to one of the chord tones of the 5 triad, but we don't say 5, we say neighbor 6/4, and they go right back to where they came from. let's talk about the arpeggiating 6/4. That's when you have a bass line kind of like this, where you're jumping. Or heck, you can even do it as a 1/6. So let me do that. 1, arpeggiating 6/4, 1/6. So here you have your tonic triad throughout. You can keep those upper voices, the bass changes, and then it goes to the 1/6. So I'll keep that there, and my bass now has this third scale degree, so the soprano will change with it. Okay, so here we're not changing harmonies at all. The 6/4 is actually a 1/6/4. But again, for 6/4 triads, we never write the Roman numerals, we always write the contrapuntal effect. Let me do a pedal 6/4. Oops. Hey, Steven. I'm just doing a little video, don't mind me. All right, here is the pedal 6/4. In this case, the bass stays the same for each of these three chords in this progression. 1, right, pedal 6/4, back to a 1. And so what happens here, I'll use the same voicing. The tenor is going to stay the same. The 6/4 is actually going to be spelled like a 4/6/4. But again, we don't write the Roman numerals. We go to the 6/4, and then we come back. Oops. So the lines above the bass, the tenor can stay do, do, do throughout. The alto in this case is sol, la, sol, and the soprano is mi, fa, mi. And the bass stays at the same note, and that's what makes it a pedal. The same thing can happen in this one on the dominant. You can have, you can get to the 5 chord, let's spell it this way, in the progression, like towards the end. This is really good at half cadences, for example. And then you can have a 5, whoops, pedal 6/4, back to the 5. And so for this to work, the sol is going to stay the same in the soprano. And then in the inner voices, T is going to go to do and back to T. And sol is going to go to la, re is going to go to mi and back to re. So the 6/4 is spelled like a 1 in 6/4 position, but it's not. It's written as pedal 6/4. Again, 6/4s never have a harmonic function. They always have a contrapuntal function. All right, the final 6/4 to talk about is the cadential 6/4. And so let's imagine I've got a little progression here. I don't know, something like this. All right, so I've got all of my sort of tonic prolongation progressions here. Let's say, or in common time, let's say I'll do a 1 to a, let's use a passing 6/4 to keep with the topic, going to a 1/6, back to a 1, back to a 1/6, let's go to a 2/6, and then we'll get to hear our cadential 6/4, and then it'll be a 5/3, going to a 1. Okay, so this is going to be the chord that we're going to focus on for the progression. But I just wanted to put it there to show you that it's the end of the phrase that this happens. So let's do the same thing as above. Let's keep our voices the same. Okay, so there's my first move, 1 passing 6/4 to a 1/6. Now I'm going to keep my harmony the same, so I'll keep the upper voices relatively similar, just change the soprano and the bass. And then I can do the same thing back because I'm playing the same chord 3 times. Okay, Now I'm going to get from my 1/6 to my 2/6. So that means that my tenor can go to the re. I'm going to try and double the F, the fa, and my soprano can drop to la. Okay, there's your 2/6. All right, now I'm going to get to a cadential 6/4. So instead of going straight to the 5, I'm going to have a G in the bass, which means I'm going to have a tonic triad spelled out above that G. So that's going to be C, E, and G there. And then it's going to drop to a 5/3. So my bass fell an octave, but it's still on G. So my C now is going to fall to a B. My E is going to drop to a D, and my G in the soprano can stay. If I wanted it to be a 5/7, I could also do that, in which case the soprano would drop to the F. So let's stick with that for now. My tenor is going to resolve to do, my alto also to do, so I've got a tripled root, and my fa has to resolve to mi in the soprano, and that's how you do that. So this is the cadential 6/4. This is probably the most important of the 6/4 chords because it happens at the end of many, many phrases, and this occurs only in the dominant portion of the phrase. So we got our tonic to the 1/6, our 2/6 chord is the predominant, cadential 6/4 is the dominant, and it goes to the 5/3. In this case, we made it a 7/5/3, 8/6/4 to 7/5/3, and then we resolved it to the 1. There's two ways of writing this. You can write it the way I did with CAD 6/4 to indicate that it's a cadential 6/4, or you can, when you get to that chord, sometimes you'll see this 5/8/6/4, 7/5/3. It's the same thing as writing this. Okay? So those are all of your 6/4 chords and the different parts of the phrase in which they can function. Yeah, that's it for this one, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.